I want to talk a little bit about the basis for inspection maintenance. This is, many of you may have a good understanding, but I thought I collected some data with Limpio de Mello, who came today here with CETESB in São Paulo, but I think it illustrates sort of the basis for inspection maintenance. This is a curve that shows the test. We tested about 120 vehicles in São Paulo, and I plotted the accumulation of the number of vehicles along the bottom, or the fraction, with the fraction of emissions. And what I think is important, this is for carbon monoxide, in this diagram is to show you that the last 15%, the highest 15% emitters, contributed 72% of all of the emissions. So if you took those cars away, emissions would drop by 72%. So this is an exciting way if we could do something about that. I can show you the same thing. This is for volatile organic emissions from the same set. The highest emitting 15% of the fleet contributes 73% of the emissions. If we could take away those vehicles somehow, we would suddenly drop the emissions by 73%. This last one is nitrogen oxides, not quite as much, but still pretty large. The highest emitting 15% is contributing half of the emissions. So you can see the excitement in the United States when they started seeing this data to think we can really lower emissions if we can do something about the dirty vehicles. This sort of shows you who were the high-emitting vehicles, and I wanted to show you this, show you that it's not always the same vehicles for VOC or NOx. So I show you over here what these vehicles failed for. A few vehicles fail for all three, but you see many fail only NOx, some just for CO. I don't see any just for VOC, but some for only 2 pollutants. And I also made a point that to capture all the high-emitting vehicles would require us actually to address 27%. So it grew, if we want to do all pollutants, from 15% to 27%. So the initial conclusions from this data is it's possible to significantly reduce emissions by addressing a small fraction of the fleet. And it said, in theory, on-road CO and VOC emissions could be reduced by 60 to 73% and NOx emissions by 40 to 50%. Also, vehicle fuel economy and operation life may also be improved. Now, with every good news, there's always bad news, it seems. So the questions then to make an I&M program is how do we identify the high polluters and what do we do with them once we identify them?